Right, you already have the microphone. Go on.
I think another reason why smoking or drinking is more rampant and is having more influences, I believe. If I believe if I do this, I'm going to get this, I want to go all the way to do that thing, and I'll believe I'll get it. And if I get to the reality and I discover this thing is not working, it's not what I think, then I may be trapped in that thing. But I want to go another way, the way it affects me, the way I think in my own way. And I want to come down to Nigeria. I think, for instance, in our garages now, people who drive or whatever job they do, they make them believe that if you do this kind of job, for you to still stay alive and still keep doing it, is for you to take some herbs. Now, these herbs have been mixed with some kind of gin. They have a name for them. Sometimes they call them pepper soup, agbo, sumbalaja, okpain, paraga, and the rest. So when they call all these things, these names, and this person believes that if I take this thing, I can drive 24 hours, and I can overtake anybody, and I can do some things to get and come back on time. That belief will drive that person to take that thing. Some people also believe if I take gin or whatever, I can speak again. Maybe he has been trying to talk to this girl, and it's not bold enough. We just go ahead and take this thing. That belief will just drive him that if this is what I'll do to get what I want, I better go and do it. And I think another major reason is that anybody in the society that has influence or famous, or is fame, or has famous or whatever, the person should be careful whatever he does. Whatever you do, or the way you even speak, or in our own video, I like this person. Whatever that person does, maybe just in the film industry, maybe just for home video, whatever he does in that film, young people want to say, this is how Jamaica works, I better be working that way. The same thing applies to alcohol and drug. Even you now, you might be talking, there may be a way, the way you talk or the way you express yourself. Someone that likes to just want to express himself that way, he doesn't even care where you school, he doesn't even care your profession. Sometimes when you're talking, that is the way the person doesn't want to know.
There's a way what?
There's a way you talk. If I like you, I want to talk that way. I've seen myself at home doing some things you do. I'll just say, Fumi does this. As in, I want to exercise. So young people, as soon as they like you, even if you're a teacher in the class, the way you teach them, the way you demonstrate, they just go out ahead. I want to do it that way, especially when they believe it's going to give them what.
Okay, let's start with those particular items and see exactly what those things do. I'm strongly against hanging something before you understand what it is about. I'm not saying before you use it and find out, but I'm talking about finding knowledge about it. I mean, for example, what is wrong with smoking? Answer. And anybody, what is wrong with smoking?
Then, what I think is wrong with smoking is that we went to a beach and I said, okay, I want to see how this thing look like. And the moment I sip it, I just discover that how can I see smoke and I want to inhale it. That is why what I think is wrong with smoking.
Okay. Somebody who hasn't spoken. Yes.
I can remember the saying that the Federal Ministry of Health warns that tobacco smoking is dangerous to health. I can remember the saying that smokers are liable to die young. So I feel that logically it's not a good thing.
Okay, so beyond emotions, if we remove emotions and we look at the entity itself, you understand? Then that's what we're talking about. That, okay, exactly what does smoking do for you? Perhaps, yes, maybe you feel cool, but, you know, these are the reasons. That warning, for example, is very, I've always thought it was very ambiguous. It's not specific. It can be dangerous to your health. So walking on the street can be dangerous to your health. An okada can hit you and you will die. But why is it so? Because, number one, you know, a lot of lung cancer is linked to smoking. You know, lung cancer, you know, all kinds of things. And if one knew, do you think it will help, for example, if young people had, you know, in this environment, we tend not to want to talk about specific of certain things. I give you an example. If when you were 15 and you were watching all those cool guys, you know, saying those things, but on the other hand, you also knew for sure, you understand, what the lung of a smoker looks like. If you had seen, for example, the lung in a picture of a smoker, and you had known of people who died directly because they smoked, You understand? Because, you know, they developed lung cancer, or they developed some kind of even complications in their family. You know, very basic things. One of my friends used to say, well, the reason she didn't like to go out with a man who smokes is that it smells. Yes. It's as simple as that, that it smells. You know, the smell initially might be interesting, the nicotine, but when it cakes, and when you've been smoking for a long time, it's a nasty, dirty smell. That's what she said. And it's the same thing with another girlfriend of mine. She said, look, her fingers were blackened, and her lips were blackened, and her teeth was blackened, and it was just unattractive.